Hello everyone, welcome to a Mac Report special. This one is all about Everdale, Supercell's brand new game, and I've got a couple of Everdale nerds in today to chat about the game and go through it. So I'm going to introduce them now, and we're going to do it a little bit different, guys. You're going to introduce yourself. You're going to sum up your Everdale playstyle in 3 words. So first up, we have all the way from the Tyne, we have Gaz Tommo. Gaz Tommo, welcome to the stream.
How do? My name's Gaz Tommo, and my Everdale playstyle is I gem a lot in 3 words.
I gem a lot. So and lot. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll allow that. I'll allow that. We might have a similar thing for our next guest as well. Our other guest today is Clash with Style, a fellow Scotsman, number one Everdale content creator in Scotland. That is undeniable. Other stuff, we're still in negotiations about. Alex, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Obviously, Max just introduced me there, so I don't need to tell you guys my name, but Gaz is pretty much just stolen. So my thing was casual, dirty gemmer. I like to think I'm doing it really casually, but then if I actually think about it, I'm spending a lot of gems. So yeah, casual, dirty gemmer. That's
casual, dirty gemmer. I love that, man. And my one, just to throw a wee bit of a plug in there, my one is loving Galadon's gems, because I'm lurking in Galadon's Galley Valley, and you guys think you're gemmers? You should see this guy go. Wow, he spends a lot of cash.
You get
he has
ships like every day.
Every day there's a new boat in one of the premium ships. His rep is on we'll talk about all this these details of these things later on, but his rep's on 40k. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing all right, and then I'm the bottom of our little valley. Let's talk a little bit more in detail about each of your valleys. What valleys are you in, and what level are you?
I'm in Oi Valley. We've done a leadership vote, and they elected me as leader. So I didn't even know the name of our valley originally, because it was in a different language. So I changed that up. And now I'm the leader of the valley, and I just put Oi Valley because that's my catchphrase, I guess.
So you stole a valley and renamed it. Amazing.
Yeah, I think
Did
this
you
guy
then
was
kick the old leader out?
No. It was a bit inactive for a bit. So when I got when you can get to Elder, I think you can start a leadership vote.
Yep.
So I thought, we'll just go for it, leadership vote, and they elected me as the leader. So
nice. So that is definitely a potential danger for a new player, isn't it? If you're starting your own valley, be careful who your elders are, because it's someone tried it in our valley. They came in, they had high rep, they weren't taking part in challenges or anything like that, but they tried to force a leadership challenge to take away the valley, to steal Galley's valley. So yeah, it's definitely something to be aware of. Alex, what about you? What level are you at?
I've just hit level 10. I'm in Zajnu, which is when you just make a valley. I think it just gives you a random name, and that's the name that our valley got given. And we were like, we'll just roll with it. We have no idea what it means, what it is, but we couldn't think of anything better. So we're like, we'll just leave it as that. Maybe at some point in the future we'll change it. I'm not the leader or anything in the valley. I'm just an elder at the moment, but I've no real ambition to become the leader. I'm happy to just sort of chill, but it's been quite good in my valley because there's I think there's 3 or 4 of us that are sitting on pretty much the same rep. So it's like the elders going changing every day, which is really pushing me to try and get as much rep as possible. So yeah, nope, that's me. I'm enjoying my life in this little valley at the moment. So yeah, it's good.
Happy days. And are you guys in valleys with your friends, or are you still sitting in that original valley that you got spawned into at the start?
Yeah, I'm just in the original valley. There's no one really talks in my valley, but it is what it is. That's the valley I got given, so that's where I've stayed.
Are you not tempted to move at all, guys?
No, not yet. I'm like Alex was just saying now, I'm just plodding away, just doing my thing. Still pretty new game, so
yeah. So mine's a bit more interesting than that. So the original valley I got spawned into, I was like, is what it is. I did a few rep tasks and whatnot, and then Hysteria, who I'm sure you know plays Clash, he's a really dirty gemmer, and he's been playing this game hard. And he was like, hey, we've got premium ships, everything over in this valley. I was like, right, quality, sign me up, I'll come over. So I joined the valley, and then we got most of Brian Fan Club and Hydrogen Gaming, those sort of clans from Clash of Clans. All those guys sort of came over. We kind of took over the valley for a little bit, but then a lot of the players sort of came active, and then Hysteria left, and I was like, right, I was only here because you were here and you were getting the premium ships, and I was like, right, okay, what's happening now? So basically now it's just me, another guy that I knew, and then the rest are just sort of random guys, but they all played what was it? Was it Valleys and Villagers or Village? They all played that before. So they've been helping me a lot, like, oh, this is what you should be doing on your research. This is what you should be doing in the Valley, which has been really, really good. It's my knowledge of the game has improved a lot because of them. So I really like my Valley. The guys are cool, but I got abandoned by everyone that I knew. So it's just kind of me and a few randoms now.
So all your mates left you. They've all gone off to a different valley to make the I Hate Alex Valley.
Probably,
and,
yeah. So Hysteria was like, this valley's not progressing quickly enough. And he went and joined like one of the top 20 valleys. And he's sitting on like 40, 50,000 rep or something. And I was like, okay, fair play. Like, on you go.
So the story of how I got to my valley, and it's pure fanboying from me. Galadon put on Twitter that he was starting a valley. And I was quite happy in my valley, got spawned into this random valley, and I thought I'll just play this a little bit. And then we started dropping off on, like when you get these events coming round, and no one was doing the events, and that was really frustrating because I put a whole load of stuff in, a whole load of effort in, and then we weren't getting the reward at the end, and I was like, I'm fed up with this. I was like, I wonder if Galley Valley is going to work. So you got 10, for people that don't know and new to the game, you get 10 spaces in a valley, so the chances of getting into a random valley or specific valley are pretty slim. It's not like Clash of Clans when you got like 50 people. And they had literally just kicked someone out. Basically, I searched for it. I saw that there was one space. I clicked on it and joined. And I looked at the feed and they'd literally just kicked someone out for being an act. Pure chance and timing. And and then Galadon started spending gems and I'm loving it. So yeah, it's great. This is your next challenge, guys. Okay, I would describe Everdale as Clash of Clans, but imagine instead of Clash of Clans introducing clan wars, they introduced like a shared building system instead. How would you guys describe it to someone that's never played before?
It's a very, very chill game. And I sort of like that about it, because we're all primarily Clash of Clans content creators. And it's quite full on, especially when you're covering wars and stuff. And then it's nice just to sit down at night, open Everdale up and just chill out and sort of relax a bit. It's a bit Farmville-esque, isn't it?
Farmville, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. It's very casual, which I don't want to put a dampener on it, but I think that's one of the downsides of the game is like the fact it is so casual. You'll go on for 5-10 minutes and then there's not really too much more you can do. You just kind of go on, maybe do a couple rep tasks, you're off again. So it's that way where like, I think it's an enjoyably casual game because you can kind of come and go with it. There's no like, with Clash of Clans, if you're in Legends League, I always feel like I've got 8 attacks to do, I need to go on. But with Everdale, it's like you can just come, you can go. There's no like real thing. But I guess I've got some ideas, but we can talk about them in a bit.
Yeah, that's definitely it's very much a mobile game, isn't it? Where like you log on, you go dump some resources somewhere, set someone off on something else, and then go away and come back maybe an hour later and change where your guys are and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's not much to do in game while you're just sort of sitting there chilling. Makes it quite difficult to stream, for example, because unless you're gemming all your tasks.
There's not much to do in game yet. It's still early stages of the game, isn't it? So
yeah, that's true, man. It's very true. Hopefully they'll add some more little in-game games. In-game games? That's a sentence. That makes sense.
A mini game inside there.
Mini game. That's what I was going for. Yeah. So if it is quite casual and quite chilled, why are you guys still playing it? The reason I'm asking this one is that it is very casual. It's not like Clash of Clans at all. It's much more like Heyday. I never played Heyday, but it's very much got the feel I imagine of what Heyday was. And I never played Heyday because I looked at Heyday and thought, nah, I don't fancy this. And yeah, I saw this. I thought it's a new Supercell game. I'll have a wee try of it. And yet, I'm coming back to it every day. What is it that's keeping you coming back?
Because it's a Supercell game, and I create Supercell content. And with it being a new game, I thought, there could be some opportunity for some early decent content here.
Yeah.
And like I said before, with us being elected the Valley leader and stuff, I feel a bit more responsible, I guess, to go on the game and sort of make sure the Valley's all right, make sure the buildings are being started and stuff. So, but it's that reputation. I'm a sucker for being like addicted to things where you can sort of level up and stuff. And that reputation ladder, I just keep thinking I need to get right to the top and get that final chest. So that's why it sucked me in, I guess.
Guys, how much rep have you got, by the way?
21,000, 22,000.
Come on. I'm just about to hit 24.
I'll be about 23-ish after today.
The reputation for me is like definitely one of the key things, but it's also the fact that they run the events. So there's a lot of different events, which is something I really like. The fact that it's not like with Clash of Clans, you've got clan games, which is something everyone works towards, but it's like the same thing every month over and over again. And it does get that way where it's like, okay, this is maybe a little bit boring, let's freshen up. But that's why I really like Everdale, because there's so many different like events, and it will like sometimes it'll boost like certain things, or sometimes you'll get like I don't know if you guys have had the farming boost where you don't have your villagers don't have to eat for 24 hours. Like that's an amazing one.
That is the best one.
It's by far the best one. It's so good. You can just progress like so much with that. But like the events for me are by far like one of the best things, and they keep me coming back to the game because they don't only just offer like boosts and stuff. It's also like you'll get gold and you'll get rep from them. So I think that's one of the key things for me. But reputation, of course, like that competitive aspect. I think most of us coming from Clash of Clans, we're all always got that competitive aspect. So that's one of the things, I guess. But yeah, I think if there was a friends list and you could see comparing to your friends in other valleys, that would also be good.
Yeah.
Then like I could compare to you guys and I'd be like, oh, Gaz is catching me up. I better like start putting in some effort or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it'll come in time. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, so it's still in soft launch. It's still in that sort of beta testing. So we know that they'll keep adding things. And Clash of Clans continues to add things. It's been going for years. But yeah, that's why, see, when I described the game, that's why I didn't describe it as a casual, non-competitive game, because for me there is this competitive element, and it's this rep's a big deal. And actually some of the power that you can get in there, like some of the power-ups are really good. Like if you want to level up your villagers, or you want to be able to dump more tasks into the ships or the builds or all that sort of stuff, you need the rep to do that. So it's rep's huge. Maybe not as big as gold, and we'll talk about that in a little while. So let's start with for new people. So like America, for example, doesn't have this game yet. There's quite a few places that don't have it. I don't know why it changed in the UK, got given this game early, because normally we are kind of behind on like soft launches.
Maybe they just felt bad for us.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe Brexit. Let's say it's a positive outcome from Brexit.
The only one thing, I think.
None of us have fuel or chicken, but you know, at least we've got Everdale. So you know. So, any top tips? You got someone that's starting out brand new. What top tips could you give them?
Make sure you utilize them potions when you get them and when you can. That's like something I sort of overlooked when I was first started playing the game. But like the research potion and stuff, they're excellent. They help you progress massively. And it's like you say, it's a weight off your shoulders, especially if they've got that portion of where they don't have to eat and stuff. They're just super helpful.
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. One of my tips would be to spend your gold as and when you need to, rather than, because what I found early game was I wasn't spending a lot of my gold, because a lot of the time, like especially with stuff like houses, it's going to give you XP for relatively cheap gold. That's what I found. So leveling up to get, obviously, so you can then upgrade like your study or whatever, you obviously have to level up to do that. And you also get rewards for leveling up. So it's one of those things, I think, early game, I tried to save my gold. I don't know why I had it in my head that it's probably better if I save my gold, but as and when you get it, unless you're going to be using it for tasks, which early game, I would avoid using it for tasks, you're going to want to spend it, you know, on stuff that most of the stuff you're going to need, especially storages, use it on storages. All my storages are always maxed, but if you've got spare gold, just bump it on some houses or something that's cheap so you can get free XP, basically.
Yeah, I like that. Potions for me, guys, was the thing that I failed to sort of appreciate. I concentrated on rushing to the 5th house, and then rushing to the 6th house, and then actually to the 7th house as well. And I threw out everything. I wasn't interested in anything else. I just wanted to get to that 7th house. And now obviously I'm at the stage where, I wish I'd gone for the brickyard and all that. But the pink potion, that research potion, is so powerful. And I totally undervalued how useful it was. The fullness one, the potion of fullness, I kind of got how useful that was quite early on. but I don't know. Like for me, that pink one is the most powerful one that's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has anyone found any secrets that they don't think other people know about? That's the next question. Well, I'm asking that question because I think I've got one.
I don't.
I do. With auto, what I found a lot recently is, especially with acorns for some reason, so most of your tasks in auto will all be gold, but sometimes you'll be given like resources like mandrake root or whatever it's called, and acorns and all that sort of stuff, carrots and I don't
Parsnips,
know.
they all look like
all those sort of things. But sometimes you won't straight away be able to just complete the task because you've got too many of the resource. Now, I just had one today. I had too many acorns, so I couldn't complete the task and then finish auto. But if you just click, rather than just straight away clicking one button to complete it, if you take the task, so it goes into the wee cart, you can then click on the cart and you can complete it. You just won't get the acorns from that reward, but you'll still be able to go ahead and complete auto and get the gold gems or whatever it is.
Oh,
so
I like that.
That's just a wee tip that I've sort of found, because I'm one of these people that wants to complete auto every day, and I have since I got the game. There's not been a day that's gone past where I've not completed auto, and that's one of the tips that I kind of only recently found out. But I was like, oh damn, okay, that's really helpful.
Yeah, because it's those research scrolls that he gives you. They're not very many of them,
but it's daily.
He's super powerful at first because it basically can complete a task, complete a bit of research for you. It's not as useful the further into the game you get, but it's still like it's a little, knocks a few hours off here and there. But yeah, I failed yesterday on auto because they wanted 2 yellow dyes and 2 red dyes, and our Valley dye shop or factory, whatever you want to call it, is like level 1. It takes 30 minutes for a dye, and everyone was making dye, and so it was like 26 hours until my dye was ready. It was like, it's ridiculous, man. So I couldn't do it. And actually what I probably could have done was just fulfilled it and like taken it to the cart and then just hit and gemmed it. But I didn't think about doing that. I probably should have just gemmed it to get those scrolls. Right, my top tip, or my secret tip. So if you click on your villager list...
Are you talking about dragging them? Clicking and dragging? Oh. Sorry, spoilers.
It's at the bottom, and then you can click and drag them to a new task. And I don't know, I find that really satisfying.
Oh,
and
no
Alex,
way, Mac.
you already knew about that. Is that what you're telling me? Well, wait, that for me was like, I discovered that by accident one day, and it was the most satisfying.
I can imagine
thing
you sitting the whole night like this, just dragging them from one to another, and they're never completing anything, but they're just running about the whole map.
Right, here's a question for you, and this is possibly something that one of you proper Everdale content creators need to go off and research for me. The question I have is, if I move my wood store closer to my wood glade thing, and so the villager has less distance to walk, does that mean that they farm the wood quicker or slower? Does anyone know?
Evergrove, if you move your storages right next to that, it's going to be a lot quicker. But remember, your villager's still going to have to travel to get soup.
Yeah.
That's never going to change. But if your storages are on the complete opposite side from the Evergrove, they're going to have to go from the Evergrove all the way to the storage, all the way back, and then they're also going to have to go to soup. So if the storages are right next to it, it's going to be a lot quicker. It's the same when you're upgrading stuff. If you've got full storages, set those storages right next to what it is you're upgrading, so the builder can just go from a storage straight back rather than have to go across the map. It does speed everything up.
It does. There we go. I was not sure if they actually sped it up or if they just walked a little bit slower, a little bit quicker if they were further away. It's something I was curious about, but not curious enough to actually like get my stopwatch out and time the villagers on. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, there is a thing in the game called estimates. Mac, I don't know if you've seen that, but you can click that on, and if you move stuff around, it'll change the estimate.
Does it actually change the time?
Yeah.
So I didn't even need to get my stopwatch out. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I was going to say they've literally put a feature in the game that'll do this for you, and you've still not even done it.
Okay, happy days. Gaz, do you have any secrets, or was did you say no before?
I'm sure Gaz has a lot of secrets, but I think you mean about Everdale.
I just get on the game, do what I need to do, and sort of get off. I don't look for secrets, and I just tasks in mind, job in hand, get in, get out.
Happy days. I wish I could hunt those little animals, by the way, that keep popping up in my village. I didn't realise how keen a hunter
game,
was.
Mac.
I know, but I want a hunter's hut. Jesus. I want to catch that wee weird fox thing and whatever there's like a chicken thing as well, isn't it? I don't know. Right, okay, reputation or gold? What's more important? What do you... Because at first, when I first started, I thought gold was everything. We spent a lot of time talking about rep. What do we think?
Reputation.
Yeah?
I think it's a really tough one. I think it's like 50-50 for me, because the gold, it's like you have to get the gold to upgrade your village, and you have to upgrade your village to like level up, to then progress in the game, to like unlock things in the study, so then you can do more rep tasks. It's like you can't have one without the other. And it's like, I don't know if I would say reputation is more important than gold, because it's like you need gold, but you also need rep to progress and do more things quicker.
Yeah,
but
they've got the balance there.
It is a game of balance, isn't it? It's like
absolutely
all
you
the
need
different
gold,
resources and all that. You never have quite enough villagers, do you?
The thing that gets me is you need the gold to progress in the game, but with the reputation, you actually can manage a lot of the stuff. If you didn't have that, it would just slow down the progress massively. Because if you look at all the rewards, it's like you can level up your villagers, which is only going to speed up your progress. You can craft more items, again, speeding up progress. So
yeah, I just said reputation because I like having a lot of rep. But like you say, that you can't do one without the other. But like on the reputation road, you've got them awesome level ups as you progress through it, like with the extra shipping tokens and stuff.
Yeah, the power-ups that you can get in there are really good. And I like that you carry that across as well. That was the thing I was most worried about when I moved. I thought my rep was associated with that valley, and I would be starting again at the bottom. Now, if you start a brand new valley, like your valley sort of level ups and all that, they're all reset back at the beginning, but you carry that rep with you. So if you were to start a new valley and you're on 20k like you, Alex, then actually that progress at the start is going to be really easy for you to carry quite a long way. So the game's still in beta. What would we like to see added to the game? We all agree that we're enjoying the game, but what things would you like to see added to the game?
A little quality of life change. I don't know why it stresses me out, that I want to be able to rotate my builder hoods.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to rotate buildings, yeah.
You've got to have like sort of everything pointing the same way, but if you put them to one side and they still face the same way, it looks odd, and it stresses me out.
Yep, I would completely back that one up. I would love to see the addition of just rotation of buildings. But I obviously made a video, shout out Clash with Style on YouTube. You can check out that video. I made a video about profile upgrades. So I think one of the key things that I mentioned earlier is just having the ability to click on your profile and have a friends list, and just like being able to click on a friend, view their village, or even just go in and view their valley, something like that, I think would be a massive quality of life change. And I think it would spark people to have a little bit more of a competitive aspect, because as you said, you can only have 10 people in a valley, which us coming from Clash of Clans, we're used to much bigger like clans, obviously with 50 people in them. So there's a lot more people on all the time. So to only have 10, it's like, oh, okay, that's actually not that many people. So you could obviously have your friends list, which is going to have more. For me, one of the main things I want to see in the game is a mini game. And I think we mentioned it earlier. It's something that you can go in the game, and while your villagers are all doing something, even if you have to use a villager to play the mini game, if you know what I mean, something like that.
Going hunting. Just saying. Anyway,
it's a casual, friendly game. I was thinking more like you go in and you get your villager to do like a puzzle, or you've got to figure something out, not get them to shoot some,
not to kill all the animals,
innocent animals, anything like that. But I think that would be something. Obviously, we've all said it. It's really hard to like stream this game, and I would love to just see something where we'd be able to go on and stream this and have people interact with us a little bit more, rather than just sitting back like, yep, I'm just going to sit here for an hour while I wait on my clay storage filling up and then completing this task, and that's all we're doing today. So just something maybe to have a little bit more of a shot at interaction on streams would be cool.
The thing that I would like to change is it frustrates me, like, so I send one of my villagers off to get some wheat from the field or corn or whatever it is. They spend ages, about 8 hours or something, chopping it all down. They obviously do like in a whole field. I get 20 corn, and then you can convert that into flour. That's the next stage. You take it to the mill, you convert it into flour, and that's fine. But then what Auto comes and asks you for is 5 wheat, and you're like, oh, I just used all my wheat because I set my villagers to do that overnight, and they just hammer through all the wheat to make all the flour they can. I'd love to just be able to put a wee limit on that and say, get rid of 15 of my wheat and just keep me 5, so that I can keep Auto happy, or chuck it on a boat when it's needed, as opposed to going, oh, I didn't have any wheat again, I'm going to have to wait another 8 hours just to fill Auto's task. Do you know what I mean? That for me is just those secondary items. I don't quite know how to describe it. Yeah, those secondary items. Anyone got any other ones?
I was going to say something like a Valley Vault, where obviously like people like more like me and Alex that have played the game more or less from the start, like new players joining the Valley, and it, for example, if they pick up a shipping task that's 40 wood or so, and I've got a spare 40 wood, I can sort of put it in a Valley Vault and say, oh, there's 40 wood, bud. Go and withdraw out the Valley Vault and get yourself some gold by completing that shipping task. It just helps the other Valley members out, I guess, in a sense, because it is a team game at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, or like a
idea.
trading system. Just to be able to trade with your other Valley members would be quite useful, eh? Like, oh, I need some fucking dye. Like the other day, I need some dye. Does anyone want some eggs? Aye, no worries. There you go. No one ever wants eggs. Eggs are like...
I really like that idea because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll go on, I'm like, there's a shipping task, and I'll probably complete a couple of these shipping tasks. I'll take one, I'll go back, I'll complete it, I'll come back, and somebody else has already done those tasks. And like that really, I'm like, it's a peaceful game, like just pick another task. But I'm like, I wanted those tasks.
Have you guys Valley's got any like rules or sort of like conventions? I'll give you an example. In our Valley, you don't take a task on the boat or on the building unless you can complete it immediately. Yeah? Because the amount of times that you're like, well, this building's ready to go, we're just waiting on one guy who's been offline for 12 hours and has probably done 270 of the 280 stone that's required in that thing to fill up. And I mean, I've done it. We've all, like, everyone in the Valley has done it at one point, but it is the most frustrating thing when you're like, we can't start the next task until that person just finishes off that little bit of that task. Have you guys got any other similar sort of rules?
We failed 2 events because of people doing that, taking tasks on the. It was like the final, like stage 3 of the event or whatever. Someone had taken a task, all the rest were completed, and they didn't complete that one task, and we ended up not getting it. And straight away, the leader was like, "You're gone." Yeah,
I think if you look at the top valleys and you look at the descriptions, I think a lot of them say that don't take tasks and sit on them. But my valley's that quiet. Nothing will get complete if I didn't let people take tasks and sit on them, then go back and complete them. So,
have you got any? Has your valley's got any different rules, guys, or is it?
No, I think I'm the only English-speaking valley member. Honestly, it's so quiet, but it is what it is for now, I guess.
What about events then? Some events are better than others, yeah? I think that's probably the best way to describe it. We've done a couple of events and I've been like, well, that was not worth the effort. What's your best event and what's your worst?
We've only done 2, I think, or like I say, the valley's that quiet, and it was something to do. I think it was a mole. Someone had come out of the floor. I can't even remember what we got off it. I was just seeing the task there, assign a villager, and I just sort of left it, and I forgot to check back on it. But we haven't really participated in many events.
Oh, see, my valley is kind of the opposite. We've been through all of the events several times. For us, the good thing with the events is like you're not completing a task and gaining nothing. You're completing a task and always getting something back.
Yeah.
So like even with the events, if the end goal or whatever you're achieving at the end of it isn't really that good and you might not think it's worth it, you're getting enough gold or you're getting rep throughout the event, if you know what I mean. So for me, it's always worth doing it, even if it's like something that you're not bothered about. Like the other day, we got a boost on our cotton field, and I was like, I couldn't care less about cotton. I rarely ever use it. It's like I might stick one villager in there, and it's only going to take a couple hours rather than 9 hours or whatever it is it usually takes. So, but for me, it's like if there's an event, we always just bash it out super quick. We had a bakery one the other day, and a handy tip as well is if you can see what the event is. We knew it was a bakery one, so we didn't start it until we knew everyone is stockpiled on a lot of their bakery items. Then we started it and everyone just like rattled through it a lot faster. It just means we're never going to run out of time.
That's clever. I didn't know about that. That's a good idea. The events have always been started by the time I noticed them. It's always me getting a notification saying an event has started. I didn't realize you could choose when to start them. That's interesting. I think some of the events for me, the benefits are a little bit like they're too short, if that makes sense. So like the one that gives you the fullness, gives the equivalent of potion of fullness, that seems to last forever. That's incredible. But then there's other ones that are like, oh, you've got 24 hours on the sheep field, boosted, and you're like, great, I've got loads of wool.
Yep.
Like I don't, I've got no intention of sending a villager there just to make use of this 24 hours. Whereas if it was like for a whole week, then you definitely get the benefit. But then, I don't know, I can see the balance is difficult because we sometimes get events like 2 or 3 days in a row. Do you know what I mean? They rattle in quite quickly. Tends to be a weekend. I don't know if that's like a deliberate thing. Guys, we got anything else to talk about?
One thing I was going to say was, if you're in a valley where it's like really active, what we found in our valley is we try to get certain people to focus on certain things. Early game, especially when you can only produce a very minimal amount of things. Like early game, I was the guy for socks. You needed socks, I was the guy for the socks. So it was like all tasks. It was like, oh, there's socks. We know Alex is going to get that, so he can do that while I focus in on whatever, honey, or like you said, or whatever.
Yeah.
So like just early game, I think that really helped us as a valley, was just sort of letting certain people handle certain resources, and it meant everything we knew was always going to get completed, rather than going, right, everyone goes, there's socks needed, so everyone then goes and floods loads of socks, then, and it just gets clogged up. So that kind of thing of just maybe talking to your valley mates a little bit more and just strategizing, like, I'll sort this if you sort this, and that way it's not everyone focusing on the one thing. That sort of idea, it just helped us, speed up
your valley life and my valley life is completely different, Alex Bud. Completely different. Just a free for all in my valley with tasks and stuff.
I like that, Alex, man. It's like proper 200 IQ sort of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Like, talk to each other. Teamwork.
Yeah, imagine
is
that.
basically what you said there.
It's
Try
a teamwork
working
game,
as a team. But it genuinely hadn't even crossed my mind. I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. I should definitely, talk to my teammates. And yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. Guys, thank you so much for coming on for this very strange pre-recorded different game version of Mac Report.